Hello, welcome to Ratios. Today we're going to learn the basic fundamentals of how to make a drink. In the soda shop, we use the term ratios to pretty much describe the amount of ingredients that go into each drink. As you remember from the last video, we have 5 sizes. We have the 12 ounce, 16 ounce, 24 ounce, 32 ounce, and a lot of space here for the 44 ounce. As you also remember, we have a few basic ingredients that go into each one of our drinks. Obviously we have the soda base, then we have the flavor, we have purees, we have creams, and what's the last one?
Fruit.
Good. We also use fresh fruit in our drinks. Ratios are going to help us know how much flavor, purees, creams, or fresh fruit to put in a 12 ounce, 16 ounce, 24 ounce, 32 ounce, and 44 ounce. The ratios will take some time to get used to, but be patient with yourself. As you practice, you'll get the hang of it. We're going to go over this slowly, and then we'll review. So to get started, we're going to go over the 12 ounce. And before we get started, just remember that all of this is in terms of pumps. So in a 12 ounce cup, we're going to do 3/4 of 1 pump of flavor in a 12 ounce cup. Cream, conveniently, it's the same amount. In a 12 ounce, we'll do 3/4 of a pump of cream. Fruit, it's actually the same thing. So when putting fresh fruit in a 12 ounce cup, you're gonna grab 1 lime, 1 lemon, 1 orange, but you're only gonna squeeze it about 3/4 of the way. As we move on, this will make more sense. Lastly, we have puree. Puree is a little different. In a 12 ounce, we're gonna do 1/3 pumps of puree. So as you can see here, flavor, cream, and fruit, all are 3/4. And then puree, a little different with 1/3. Now let's move on to the 16 ounce. Things get a little easier. The amount of flavor that goes into a 16 ounce is 1 full pump. The amount of cream that goes into a 16 ounce is 1 as well. The amount of fruit that goes into a 16 ounce is 1 full lemon, lime, orange, and you're gonna do a full squeeze, getting all the juice out of it. So as you can see here, there's some consistency. Of flavor, cream, and fruit, it's all 1, 1, 1, similar to the 12 ounce. Now let's go over the puree. In a 12 ounce, it's 1/3. In a 16 ounce, we're gonna do 1/2 pumps of puree. Now let's go over the 24 ounce. In a 24 ounce, we're gonna put in 1 1/2 pumps of flavor. Cream, we're gonna do the same thing, 1 1/2. And fruit gets a little interesting here. For fruit, we're gonna do 1 fruit squeezed, and we're gonna do 1 fruit unsqueezed or unsquozen, depending how you want to say it. ... So to put this in simpler terms, for a 24 ounce, you're gonna grab 1 lime. You're gonna squeeze it all the way. Then you'll grab another lime and you'll place it in the drink, but you won't squeeze it. That way we can continually increasing the amount of fruit that's in the drink without oversaturating the flavor. Next, on a 24 ounce, the puree, we're gonna do 1 full pump. Now let's continue with the 32 ounce. The amount of flavor that goes to a 32 ounce is 2 full pumps. As you can see the pattern, you can probably guess the amount of cream, it's gonna be 2 pumps. Fruit, instead of doing 1 squeezed and 1 unsquozen or unsqueezed, we're gonna do 2 pieces of fruit fully squeezed. And lastly with puree, we're gonna do 1 1/2 pumps of puree. Now let's finish with the 44 ounce. The amount of flavor that goes into a 44 ounce is 2 3/4 pumps. So you're gonna do 1, 2, and then 3/4. Cream gets a little different here. Cream is gonna be 3 pumps. Fruit is gonna be 3 pieces of fruit. So 3 full pieces of fruit. If it's oranges, you're gonna squeeze each and every orange all the way. And lastly, puree is 2 full pumps. Right now, you may be a little overwhelmed with seeing so many different numbers, but just know it'll take time, and with practice, this will all make more and more sense. So this is just the basic fundamentals and principles that we're going to teach you to get you started. And as you practice making the drinks, all of this that you see here is a piece of cake. Let's get started making some drinks. Before making any drinks, be sure to wash your hands. Now let's get started. To start, we're going to make a 12-ounce Nerdy Dr. Pepper. A Nerdy Dr. Pepper consists of coconut and Dr. Pepper. So we can go over to our chart right here, and we're going to make a 12-ounce. Since it has one flavor that's coconut, we're going to do 3/4 pump. So we're going to take our 12-ounce cup, go over to the coconut bottle, and push down on the pump 3/4 of the way down. Next, we're going to go over to the Dr. Pepper and begin filling up our drink. As we fill it up, we got to be aware of the fill line. We're going to use this line to know when to stop filling up with soda so we can fill up the rest with ice. So we're going to keep going. We're going to grab our ice scooper, put some ice in the drink. Then we'll take our drink over to the last station and put the lid on. So as you saw in the 12-ounce, we only did 3/4 pump of one flavor. Now we're going to move on to a 16-ounce. For this drink, we're going to make the do or die, which is Mountain Dew and mango puree. So we have a 16-ounce cup, and we can see that we're going to do 1/2 pump of mango puree. So let's take our cup, go over to the puree, and we're going to push down about halfway. Next, we're going to take our cup, and we'll go over to Mountain Dew. As you can see in the cup, puree is much thicker than the flavor. So in addition to putting it in the drink, we're going to need to mix it. So to start, we're going to fill the cup up about 1/3 of the way. Grab the spatula that's in the stainless steel cup, and we're going to mix it up. We're going to do this for about 8 seconds to make sure that everything gets mixed up really well and that the flavor is distributed evenly. Now that we have it mixed up, we're going to fill our soda to this line so that we stop with soda. Then we can fill the rest with ice. If you look closely on the interior of the cup, you can see that there's that line. That's the line you'll always stop at with soda and ice to make sure that you don't overflow when you put the lid on. So let's keep going. So we fill up the cup, we reach this line with soda, take our scooper once again, fill the cup up with ice. Now we're right at that line. Take our cup over to the last station, grab the lid, and make sure that you seal it and put it on all the way. Now you've completed and successfully made a do or die. Now that you're getting the hang of it, we're going to do something a little more intense. We're going to make a 24-ounce cocoa lime. A cocoa lime has Diet Coke, coconut, and fresh lime. We're going to do it in a 24-ounce cup. So we can see that the amount of flavor of coconut, we're going to do 1.5 pumps. And the limes, where it gets a little tricky, we're going to do 1 squeezed and 1 unsqueezed. So let's get started. Take your cup, go over to the coconut. You're going to do 1 full pump all the way down and then half the way down. Now we got the right amount of coconut. We'll move over to Diet Coke. We're going to fill it up. And just like on the other cups, this is where we're going to stop, filling it with soda to fill up the rest with ice and limes. Once we get to that spot, we grab our ice scooper, put some ice in there, and like in the other cups, you can see there's a little line on the interior. We're going to go a little below that line so that we leave space for our limes. Next to the soda fountains, you'll see our fruit tray. This is where we keep the limes, lemons, and oranges. In the tray, you'll see there's a plastic bag. This bag will be used to get the limes. You will not grab any of the fruit by hand. Make sure you always use one of these bags. So first, we'll grab a lime and we'll squeeze it real well all the way into the cup. Next, we'll take our next lime, but remember, we do one squeeze and one unsqueeze. So we're just gonna flop that guy in there. Put the bag back in the tray, shut the tray, maybe top it off just a little bit. Take your cup, take your lid, put it on all the way, sealing it around the sides, and you're good to go. You've made a cocoa lime. Now let's make a 32-ounce Big Daddy. A Big Daddy consists of Dr. Pepper, raspberry, and coconut cream. So let's look at our chart. We have 2 pumps of flavor and 2 pumps of cream. So let's go over to our raspberry flavoring. We're gonna do 2 complete pumps. Next, move over to Dr. Pepper. On this one, we have an indicated ice fill line, or soda fill line. So we're gonna fill it all the way to soda to this line, fill the rest with ice to the interior line, and then we're gonna do some coconut cream to finish it off. Put the thumb down so we can see where we're at. Now that we're at the line, let's add some ice. And when you know that you're gonna add cream, you're gonna wanna go a little below this line so that you don't overfill it. Next, we're gonna add coconut cream. In front of the fruit trays, we have half and half in coconut cream. You can tell the difference by the pump color. So here, half and half is in white, coconut cream is in gold. We're gonna do 2 full pumps. That wasn't a pump, there's 1. There's 2. Next, we're gonna finish it off by putting a lid on it. Once again, remember that the lid is all the way on. You're good to go. Now let's finish by making a 44-ounce main squeeze. The main squeeze is lemonade, raspberry puree, and fresh lime. So on our chart, we're gonna be doing raspberry puree, so we're gonna do 2 full pumps. Then we got some fruit in there, we're gonna do 3 full limes. Let's get started. Go to our raspberry puree, we're gonna push down all the way. And as you can see there, it didn't go out all the way. We didn't have a complete pump, so we're gonna just have to eyeball that and add a little more, and then we're gonna do a full pump after that. If it's running a little low, you're gonna have issues like that. So you just gotta make sure that you're getting enough in there. Next, let's go over to our lemonade. And as you remember, this is a puree. So we're gonna fill it up about 1/3 of the way and then mix. Like before, we're gonna stir this for about 8 seconds to make sure that it gets distributed evenly. Be sure to scrape the bottom to get any puree that's sticking to the sides or bottom. Once you do that, put the spatula back. And on this cup as well, you can see we have the soda fill line. So fill soda all the way up to here, fill ice up to the interior line, and you're good to go. So let's turn it around so you can see it. Now that we're at the line, grab our scoop, fill with ice. Now we're gonna go a little short because we gotta remember we're gonna be putting limes into this drink. Come over here. Like before, we have the bag. We put our hand in the bag, grab our first lime, and squeeze it all the way, drop it into the drink. Lime number 2, squeeze it all the way, drop it into the drink. Finally, lime number 3, squeeze it all the way, drop it into the drink, replace the bag, shut the tray, take your drink to the last station, grab the largest lid, put it on, seal it tight, and you made a main squeeze. That was a quick introduction into ratios and how to make a few drinks. All of this will make more and more sense as you practice. But just keep in mind, we love you.